Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4 verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of Employment Wednesdays with Yvonne Shabangu in the series Law Without Borders. I've missed you guys so much. I'm sure you guys missed me as well. But see, again, because you guys seemed to have enjoyed Law too, so I think I'm going to be gone again. But yeah, I love seeing the compliments insisting that the podcast should stay. I see the love and I really, really appreciate you guys. And thank you for still showing up and thank you for still commenting and engaging. So we're going to start off with shout out. So the first shout out goes to Sbusiso Xulu, who commented on an episode with Thando Lwetu and Gege, and he says, what an episode. I suggest that we have Yvonne, Gege, and Thando in another episode. I think that could actually bang. Because I also had so many questions for Gege. I'm like, wow, is this how the audience feels when they're watching? So I think we could actually work on that, however, in the next season. And then we also have a comment from Kekeleto Shaba 9831 who says, bi-weekly or thrice a month will definitely do. A big no to returning in 2028. Phela guys, mina ngiyanazi ninjani. Sometimes you don't want other people. You're like, we're here for Yvonne. We don't want anyone else. But I really appreciate that you guys are actually welcoming delegation, because I think in this season it's very important for me to be able to balance out going through my own life changes as well as keeping Employment Wednesdays running. So thank you for that grace as well. And then somebody says, as a loyal subscriber, this is It's Z Lubisi. As a loyal subscriber, please invite co-hosts. They will definitely have something new to share. Start with Juniors from Employ a Lawyer. I'll definitely, but I had Juniors. Oh, you want Juniors to host? Okay, I can actually ask him to host and let's see if he agrees. Or you guys can go and mention him so that he sees that he's on demand. I'll definitely try and see if that could happen. As a fourth year student, I can host in Yana, but the catch is I'm not in Joburg. Where are you? Siglanda Laukon. I mean, I drove all the way to be here. Like in drive my kilometers and my kilometers. So we can always make a plan. Last one goes to Tandiwe Mlilo, who is a very special friend of mine. A special shout out to you, Tandiwe. Like, she's always giving thanks, guys. I really also appreciate the people in my life that they always set the tone on how everybody else in the world should treat me or should treat my brand. So she's always here commenting. She's always here giving super thanks. She's always here sharing the links. And I truly appreciate you, Tandiwe. She says, hey, Yvonne, Employment Wednesdays has had an impact on a lot of people. And thank you for showing up for us. With regards to the episode, we can do bi-weekly. And with hosting, I'm more than happy to have you juggle doing it on your own or having a guest host here and there. We really appreciate your effort. Lastly, congratulations on all your answered prayers. Change can be uncomfortable, but God will always guide you through it. Thank you so much. I feel like that feels like a hug. I feel really covered. Seeing you present on social media and also actively present in my life is a gift I don't take lightly. So today we also seated with a special friend, sister, mentor, and everything. So guys, please forgive me if I'm a bit informal, because I tend to forget and feel comfortable because you know the drill. So her bio is very colorful. I'm going to read it, all of it, like word for word, so that you guys can see how surrounded I am. And I hope you enjoy this episode. And I hope this episode reminds you that we all want to go to big law firms, right? We all want to be in the big fives, you know, whether it's a law firm, it's an auditing firm, whatever it is. But we also have people who know from inception that, you know what, I see the big dreamers, the big offices in Sandton and all of that. But I don't want that for myself, and it's okay, you know. And I think one of the things I know you will learn is knowing when to walk away from certain spaces and knowing when to hold on. So get your cup of coffee, a glass of something, I don't know. Tina, we go unlimited fist walk, guys. Young one of time sacrificing wines. I still have a band on just for you guys. Imagine. Like I couldn't even rest, but we're here now. So we're sitting with Nonkululeko. Ngikubize ngesomshado what? Nonkululeko Williams. And akashatanga nomlungu. So Nonkululeko serves as a managing counsel at the largest credit bureau and data-driven organization in Africa, guys. Not in South Africa, in Africa. We're seated with a change maker. So when you see changes in the banking systems, you see the people that are involved. You see, I know higher people in higher places. So she's an admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa and a research associate of the Center of Banking Law at the University of Johannesburg. So there's a new way of introducing the University of Johannesburg. We say the great University of Johannesburg because we keep going up the ranks. We keep making a difference. You see, clock it. And one of the things I really love about UJ, it always gives back to its own. If you studied at UJ, there's a way, man, they're going to put you in the system to grow and develop your career as well. So her academic and professional work sits at the intersection of financial services regulations, financial inclusion payment regulation, and legislative reform in South Africa. She holds a Bcom Law in insurance and risk management and an LLB from the University of Witwatersrand, the university down the road. Imagine from down the road to up the road. Zakal. And she holds a master's in banking law from the great University of Johannesburg, the university up the road, and a certificate in foundational payments by the Payment Association of South Africa. Her professional experience includes senior legal advisory roles at two of the big banks in South Africa. I mean, there's 5. She's already done 2. Who knows? By the next time she comes back, she would have done 5. Where she has consistently focused on regulatory innovation, customer-centric financial solutions, and the advancement of financial access through legislative reform and operational efficiencies. She completed her articles at one of the big 5 law firms in South Africa. Outside of work and academia, she is a Jesus girl. Like, we are covered, we are anchored. You guys know here, like, we always preach. I remember somebody once said, is this a podcast for Christians? I mean, it's really not for just Christians. I mean, you're welcome, but I promise you live here a Christian. Like, you give your life to Jesus eventually. And she loves, she's also an urban gardening influencer, a speaker as well. She's a mom to an energetic and kind 3-year-old boy and a wife to a loving husband. Barishadani, highly recommended. When we aspire, it's because we see that there is love around us. What a bio. I forget that I know you. Like, I'm just like, who's that?
Ubufundi bio gabani. Whose bio is that?
Do you believe it? Is that yours?
It's God, my friend.
How are you?
I am good. I am good. My friend, I am amazing. I am in a season of just watching God do shocking things with my life. It's really shocking. I am in a season of gratitude.
I'm actually so happy. I really hope I don't cry today. You know why? I remember the last time you had to be here, right? We had set a date. And I remember again, I was driving from Mpumalanga, right? And I remember I was telling the person that I was with, I'm like, I'm so sad that I can't shoot with Nonko because she's not well, right? And I kept on thinking about how accomplished you are. And then I thought, I'm like, why does she have to go through so much regarding her health? And this is an amazing person. She works hard. She shows up. She's brilliant and all of that. And now seeing you here, healthy and alive, it's a testament that God is good, like all the time.
All the time.
So I am so happy. So let's get into it. In primary school, high school, how was your primary school and high school? What are your highlights when you think when you have to tell Buddy about high school? Like, what would you tell him?
Sure. You see, this is what I was saying. You bring us here as come as you are, and then you ask us deep questions like this. Primary. So I went to a lower primary and then a higher primary.
Okay.
And my lower primary was amazing. I had some of the best teachers who were essentially grandmothers to me, because in that period, my teachers were very old.
Yeah.
And you know those teachers that adopt you without adopting you?
Yes.
I had that kind of support and love. And then higher primary, I experienced a similar thing.
Okay.
And I was top student,
So it's always been
an
thing.
ordinary child, naughty, but very smart. And then in high school, in I would get into trouble with my teachers for being so loud and being number one, but I'm loud with everyone else. In fact, one of my teachers, I once got into so much trouble with her. She said, when angzokshaya, because you make noise with everyone here.
Yeah.
And then when it's time for results, when you're at the top of the list and everyone else, you know, is somewhere in the middle, but when you are leading the pack, making noise. Yeah. So I was still like consistently smart, but ordinary, naughty, and loud.
And what's your fondest memory of high school?
The friendships that I had. I had really good friends. I had really good friends. I don't want to lie. I had one teacher who, again, adopted me without adopting me. Memlanga. She was so good to me, but very strict.
Yeah.
In fact, with her as well, I got into trouble with her for getting 98%. She beat me alone in the entire class, and she said, where was the other 2%?
Wow. Okay.
So she was very strict with me. In as much as she was good to me, she was very strict with me. She expected excellence. Yeah. And I delivered.
Love that. You speak about being smart consistently. Would you think being inborn smart is a thing, or is it a muscle that you build in general as you grow?
Both.
Okay.
My little brother is inherently smart.
Okay.
He doesn't have to lift a finger. He'll attend a class, and then without even studying, he'll get a 70%.
Okay.
And then me personally, it's a muscle that I had to build.
Okay.
And be very consistent, be very deliberate, intentional, put systems in place. And it's been working for me from inception. So I think to some extent there is a level of inherently, but you also have to build that muscle a lot, actually.
Okay. And what did you want to be? Don't give us a PR answer, please. You know, people in higher places, they'll give you PR answers and you're just like, what's going on?
From childhood, I've always wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
And at some point, I wanted to be a fashion designer because I'm quite creative.
Yeah.
And
are those earrings made by you?
So these ones, no, they're not from my collection.
Okay.
You see now, you're
but
telling
she has her own earring brand and all of that, and they're so beautiful.
And when I got to high school, I was very clear. I've always wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Initially, I wanted to be either a labor lawyer or a family lawyer. Beginning of high school, particularly because of the things I would see in society and what I was exposed to. Yeah. And then when I got to matric, I started getting an interest in business.
Okay.
And I started doing research, and I found that there was a business lawyer, what we call commercial and corporate lawyers. And when I got to Wits, I was very clear about I'm going to do a Bcom Law, and then I'm going to do LLB and get into a Big Five law firm. And yeah.
Okay. So what triggered law particularly? Because, I mean, yes, you wanted to be a teacher, you wanted to be a fashion designer. Where does the change come in? Or if you noted it, like how did it happen?
It was my tendencies of always wanting to defend people.
Okay.
I would get involved in things that had nothing to do with me.
It's like,
Had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But I've always been drawn to being a voice for those who are not heard or those that do not want to speak up or cannot speak up. And I've always been in the gap.
Okay.
I was also part of the debating team in high school, and it wasn't a tough choice.
Okay. So, like, the cues were there. Like, the signs were there to say she's going to do something which has to defending other people. Yeah. Okay. So, how did you choose the university down the road? Like, I mean, you could have went to the University of Pretoria. But, I mean, you could have went to the University of Pretoria. You could have went to the University of Cape. Like, I mean, you had good marks. You could have went to Stellenbosch, wherever in the world. What prompted your choice to go to Wits?
So it was my first choice was UCT.
Okay.
And my mom was like, no, child, you are not leaving home. And I said to her, if I don't get to Wits, I'm not going to school.
Okay.
And why Wits and UCT, they were the top two at that time.
Okay.
And they were the best university. They still are.
I mean, we could argue that your master's is not from the Wits. I mean, it's from the great University of Johannesburg.
I mean, I'm a combination of the best. Let's agree.
Yeah, let's agree to disagree, guys. No shade. Like, if you conquered the urge, I mean, apparently the urge is very sharp. So, yeah.
So when mom declined UCT, I said to her, if I don't go to Wits, and easy. So I applied at UCT, Wits, UJ, and no, I couldn't apply at UCT because she said no. So I applied at Wits and UJ, and they both accepted me.
And then you went for Wits. Okay, so had you seen somebody like within society that had started at Wits, or it was a thing of you did your research to say which universities are the best or which universities produce the best lawyers?
Yeah, so it was mostly research.
Yeah.
And I found a sort of like a distant cousin via my aunt, where my aunt was married. He was an LLB student at Wits.
Okay.
And so as soon as I finished my research, I started talking to him, and it all made sense for me to go to Wits.
So you do all of this now. You established that you want to be a lawyer. Did you know what you were going to do with the degree? Like, what was the plan? Because, I mean, when I studied law, really, I thought after I get the paper, I'm just going to go in court and start saying, yes, my lord. What was your plan?
So my plan was always to become a commercial lawyer. Yeah. And I didn't know what that meant, but I knew it had something to do with business.
Oh, okay.
I started...
And sorry to backtrack, right? You say the business interest grew at about matric, right?
Yes.
What triggered that?
It was... No. Sorry. It was grade 9. Okay. We had something called EMS.
Yes. Economical Management Science. I used to ace that module.
It was grade 9,
yes,
because I aced that so much. But then when we had to pick subjects in matric, also, if my teachers are going to see this, they took the A students and they put them in class A. And I did math, science, accounting.
Yeah, they did that to me as well. Like, I literally, I played them as well, right? So grade 9, grade 10, they made me take all of these science subjects. You know what I did? I dropped them grade 11, left pure maths.
Wow.
And I was leaving them on the urge, like they're close to, I think there's a subject I even left during grade 12. And they were like, Yvonne, I started doing maths lit in grade 12 actually, then I got a distinction.
I actually think there were people who did that in my school as well. And they got distinctions.
Same. Like, I was fighting for my life in math, right? Because math requires you to practice. So I will get the job done, right? But bottom line, I'm not a hard worker. I believe in doing things well and doing them properly at a given time. So maths wants you to work as hard as you can, right? So I was always borderline 60. 59, I'd go to 71. But you know what was giving me anxiety is that if you are hanging there by 60, you can easily drop to a 40. So it's just like, it's not going to look right on my maths metric certificate. Yeah. So I dropped it. And I remember my pure maths teacher was so disappointed. Left life science, left physics.
Yes,
like I left everything. The only
well.
thing I was left with was geography. I was like, okay, I can keep geography.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we had math, science, accounting, biology.
Yeah.
Got distinctions there as well. So I did enjoy the subjects a lot, especially biology, science, and maths.
Yeah.
And some people would even say to me, okay, we can see that you love talking, you can do maths, but with these marks, why are you not doing engineering? I said, nah. That's not my calling. That's not my calling.
That's not what you call.
I know where I'm being called. That's
Yeah.
not my calling. So yes, EMS sparked my business interest. Also, I grew up, my late grandmother had a shebeen. I grew up in a family that had a business.
Yeah.
My mom used to sell ice cream and sweets, and I'm a firstborn, so I used to hold people's monies at home. I remember starting stokvels from grade 5, even in high school.
Really?
So I've always been quite
You've always been in
entrepreneurial.
the money. And actually, like, doesn't it feel like a full circle moment? The fact that you are specializing in the banking industry.
It does. It does.
Okay, love that. Then now you're at VET. How was transitioning? Did you go to a Model C school or you went to a normal public school?
So I went to a public school that did not pay school fees.
Okay.
I don't know what the LSMs are called, but ours did not pay school fees at all.
But was it like, did you guys have the resources? Everything was in order? Was everything okay?
Well, we did have a computer lab, but only the computer kids would access the lab.
Okay.
And class A, the class that I was in, we didn't have computer in it. So I even had to learn a laptop when I got to Wits.
So, you know, I find it very interesting. Why would they make computers an extra curriculum activity? It's like, because you're smart, focus on the books. It's such a strange way of ordering things. Okay.
So we had what we needed considering the level that we were at. We had great teachers. The type of hectic resources that we see with our siblings and our children, no, we didn't have any of that.
Okay. Did you guys have sports, a sport field? Did you play sports?
We did. We had netball, soccer. Yeah, I think that's what I'm remembering.
All right, cool. And how was the transition from high school into university? Were you prepared for it?
Ma'am, we would do English in Zulu sometimes. We would do maths in Tswana. I mean, if I didn't understand or we didn't understand, we would ask our teacher, Mara e ring kgantlentle.
Yeah.
And getting to Wits and doing elasticities and in English, please. It was a lot.
Okay.
I had a module called computational sciences. I got 50 something and I was like, thank you, Lord, because I'm not doing this thing again.
Yeah. So when you were doing Bcom, you also expected to do that module because it sounds like an engineering type of module.
So I did, yes, it was that computational science module. And I think now in hindsight, I'm grateful for it because that's where I learned how to use a computer.
Okay.
I will Control X, ma'am. I ain't never seen any of that.
And then you're like, what is going on?
This?
What is this? Like, why must I type with both hands? Why can't I type with my one hand? I hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you get into VET, you experience that culture shock. How did you manage that? Because I know that change can actually be very overwhelming, right? In as much as, yes, you're a good student. I mean, you're an A student. And I think the benefit and the disadvantage of being an A student is that already when you get in there, it's easier for you to make friends because sometimes you're on the A list. Like I remember Juju we had an orange carpet where they recognize like excelling students from matric. So already when you go in, you like already have friends that you would have met at the orange carpet dinner. You would have attended mini workshops with them, and then when you get there, like you already feel a bit at home, but also you can feel some sort of way when you start realizing unfamiliarity. So how did you navigate that?
Yeah. I like the fact that you said you make friends easily. That's one of my superpowers.
Yeah, okay.
I made friends very easily from diverse backgrounds and diverse knowledge. And I was quite intentional also about the friendships that I wanted to build. I was very clear. I want friends who are non-South African so I can learn about other people.
Oh, really?
And yes, I had friends from Nigeria, Zim, Uganda, Korea, and my South African friends went to very good schools. In fact, one of my very good friends went to Rudin. She used to help me a lot with my computational work. We were both doing Bcom Law. And she didn't like the law side of things. So I would chip in there and help. And the Bcom stuff, she would help me a lot. So I had very good friends. One thing about God, he's always given me good friends. And I navigated it through learning from others, leaning into others to help, just knowing why I was there and what I needed out of it. Because I looked at where I came from and looking at this big world and where I wanted to go, I had to find a way. I had to.
I love that. Every time I think about or hear people mention their friends or community, I feel like God was very deliberate in the art of disciples, right? So he may have not, he didn't mention them as his friends. He's in the Bible, we see that it's 12 disciples.
Yes.
But I think in that, having 12 disciples to walk the journey with, I believe that it was evidence that in every season, in every cross that you carry, I will send you help.
Yes.
And help usually are your friends, people that see you and are able to lift you. So, quick one. You mentioned that you were intentional about diversifying your your network of friends. So what happened in circumstances where there was a person that you liked who is South African? Would you not entertain it? Would you be like, hey, I'm just trying to get friends that are much more diverse so that I can learn different languages, different cultures, and all of that?
I didn't write off South African relationships.
Okay.
But I was very intentional about putting myself out there and it was also uncomfortable, right? Yeah. And because I am bubbly and I put myself out there, people think it comes easy I don't have moments in the background where I'm like, cha, what was I doing?
Today and yesterday, right? So I attended events where there's a lot of people. So yesterday, and I realized I mentioned it to someone today again. I'm like, I actually really get socially awkward because I'm just like, I don't know if I should hug you. I don't know if I'm overwhelming you. And also, I don't want to be a bit rude. Yeah. I don't know what to say to you. So, like, it's always a thing with people that are generally bubbly, especially in their own spaces. Sometimes I feel like in bigger spaces, they just don't know what to do with themselves. So I can relate.
Absolutely.
Because, like, what do I say now? Do I give you a handshake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tend to disappear in big groups. I'll be there. Next minute, everyone is, where's Nonku? You must just know that I'm overstimulated. I need a corner.
Yeah. Okay. I really love that you're intentional about your friendships. So when do you start applying at a big law firm? And when do you now have, when you started, you didn't know that, you didn't know what it is, what it meant to be a business lawyer. So when do you realize that actually I can go be a corporate lawyer in Sandton, at a big law firm? How do you then find out about all of that?
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you something, Yvonne.
Yeah.
So the program I did was 5 years. The first 3 years is your Bcom Law, and then the last 2 years is your honors LLB.
Yeah.
Man, when I tell you, it only clicked I knew I was going to be a commercial lawyer. How? I don't know.
Yeah.
And what that meant. I could read, but what that looked like practically, I had no idea. Second year of Bcom Law, my friends started getting articles. And now I'm like, hey, Bo, what is this article situation?
Well, like you're better. You're at second year. In third year, somebody says to me, "Yo, your squad is doing the most. You and your squad are doing the most. You guys are assigned. You know how they refer to getting articles as being signed?
Yes.
I'm like, signed where? I don't know anything about record labels. You know, we're not in music. But I know your friend, word on the streets is your friends are signed in big law firms. I'm like, what are big
is
law
that?
firms? Because I didn't even know the concept of Big Five, right? I'm like, what are those? Then I now ask my friends who are allegedly signed. They're like, no, friend, you remember when we did work? I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that's how you secure jobs, training, and skills.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So Dilulu girl knew she was going to be a corporate lawyer.
Yeah.
And second year now I'm finding out people are being signed. Okay, what is this thing? Third year, okay, now I'm starting to apply now. This is third year of the undergrad. Man, when I tell you it's, you know this, it is tough. I don't even remember getting VEC work. I never did. So this is third year. And fourth year, which is first year of the honors. Man, when I tell you I got articles at a Big Five law firm in my final year, in the fifth year, after June.
So, wow. That's like proper last minute God work. Because what do you mean? So, quick one. So, in this, so you find out in second year, you start properly applying in third year. So, third year, fourth year, and your fifth year. So, when you're applying, are you getting rejections? What's going on? Or is it dead silence?
Yes, go silent. Or it's clear
No.
rejections.
Okay.
In fact, how I even got my articles, it wasn't in the conventional way.
How?
One of the big banks that I worked for had a scholarship.
Yeah.
And they came to Wits to interview and. Also how I applied, I knew someone who became a mentor who worked at APSA. And he was like, they're looking for people, this is a scholarship and this is what it entails. Give me your CV so I can give it to them so you can apply. Oh, okay. It took time for some odd reason. And then next thing I see the APSA people coming to Wits to do interviews. So I go to that person, okay, what happened to
Your
my
application,
CV?
yes.
And he's like, oh, wait, let me go ask them.
Okay.
And the recruiter was like, hi, Bo, how did I miss this application? I was literally the last person that they interviewed.
Wow.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
The last person. And when they gave me feedback, they were like, yeah, you know what? We actually had to save the best for last. I was like, so my application got lost essentially at some point. I get interviewed. I'm the last person who's being interviewed.
And you actually get it?
Yes. I think there was 5 of us who were chosen. Literally. And they had a collaboration with one of the Big Five law firms. You know, after they give you the scholarship, you go do your articles there and you can decide you're staying there or you're coming to us. And and that's how it happened in my 5th year.
Wow. So initially, if that scholarship route, because that's a non-traditional route of securing articles, right? So if the scholarship didn't happen, God knows you would have still been searching and searching.
Ma'am.
And searching.
Ma'am. Like I said, and I'm going to say Dilulu because I find out about articles in my 2nd year. And in my 2nd year, when I start applying in my 3rd year, I'm like, yes, even me, I'm going to get into the Big Five law firms. And then there you are, not getting anything.
Yeah.
And you only get articles in your 5th year in a Big Five law firm.
But you know what I'm admiring the most? Most of the times we're so afraid to ask for feedback, right? To say, hey, I sent this, right? Because we are afraid of the answer that may come out, right? But I would highly recommend, guys, that even though you're not sure, go and ask for feedback. Because mind you, you never know. Maybe had you not asked to say, hi guys, what happened? Are you guys ghosting me? You wouldn't have received any correspondence or any response. So I'm glad that you were audacious enough and courageous enough to actually go and put your step forward and be like, hey guys, this is what I did. Can I get a feedback? And the feedback was good. So is the scholarship still available? Let's put my people on, or should they just go check on the website? Is it still a thing?
As far as I know, it's not.
Why? Like Watung Red Bank, why? Because one thing I think I need to give props to actually APSA. I've seen that they really take care of young people.
Do the most.
I think it's a bank that actually honors their word when they're saying they're giving back to the youth or young empowerment. I see you guys. Maybe you can sponsor me. Trying to empower the youth. Okay, so the scholarship is not a thing anymore.
As far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
but guys, I think I would highly recommend, check out, I know other banks do have scholarships as well. And I think outside of other banks, I know the likes of IDC and other spaces have scholarships. And then they have secondment programs where you can go do articles for the 2 years and then you come back as their legal advisor or whatever to work back your time. But do more research on that, because sometimes also we don't get opportunities because we're all following the same route. There's traffic. So try and be creative.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then you go into the workplace, right? You go and you get into the big five law firm. How was the transition from university? Were you ready for the big law firm for the big law firm life? And what led to you deciding to say, no, this is not where I'm going to grow? I'm actually going to go into the banks.
Yeah. Okay, your question is quite multifaceted. Mm-hmm. Which part do you want me to answer first?
In your own order.
The transition, okay.
Yes.
So, like many things, school doesn't prepare us for the workplace. Mm-hmm. Oh, I sound like a broken record. It was my community also.
Yeah.
I had very good friends at the law firm.
Yeah.
Most of them, we actually left Wits together. Mm-hmm. And even though we weren't very close, when we got to the law firm, we started getting very close. Mm-hmm. So that just made things very easy for me. And because I had already decided, so from the word go, I decided I'm not going to stay in practice. Mm-hmm. I am going to be an in-house commercial lawyer. Okay. So I was very deliberate in terms of, I know what I need to get out of here, and whatever opportunity I'm given, I am going to learn and absorb as much as I can, and go in-house after that. Yeah. Was it easy? No, child.
It was
articles, easy. No.
Guys, it's like military training. It's like military training. There's something that someone, I think it's Mamzola, she is a recruiter at Adams and Adams. I think it's one of the biggest IP law firms we have in the country. She said something along the lines of how you make it during that period. It's not by befriending partners and going to play paddle with partners and stuff. It's actually by befriending your peers, because those are the people that you actually grow with. And those are the people, yes, it's nice to maneuver and make network with the ones in higher places, but also your people in your class, people that are going through the same things with you, or people that are maybe a year ahead. But she then mentioned how we have a problem of going all the way up. And then those people all the way up, we forget boundaries. We now get too familiar. And then they then go complain about us. So I love that you've always had a good community. What are some of the challenges you faced, and how did you navigate those challenges?
Yeah. So I don't know if they are challenges. Let's agree that they're challenges. Yeah. Late working hours, which is part of the trading. Yeah, I didn't mind, and I was amongst the fortunate CAs that in the rotations I was in, I actually got real work. Yeah, okay. Because there's also that culture of CAs do pagination and CAs just do briefs and so forth.
The admin.
Yes. Yeah. But I was actually given opportunities to draft heads of arguments, contracts opinions. So I did get an opportunity to exercise my legal muscle. I was chosen to be a CA rep by my peers. So some of the challenges I experienced in that space, seeing how my peers were treated, because also I had to stand in the gap because I represented the interests of the candidate attorneys.
Yeah.
So seeing what my peers had to go through with their departments, with their partners, their senior associates, that thing hit me. It, please, some of the things that we go through in the law firms are very traumatic.
Yeah.
And it's a space where, yes, training is difficult. And by the time you get to a Big Five law firm, you are part of the best. So you are prepared to put in the work. You are prepared to put in the long hours. You're prepared to do the difficult things. But treat me right.
Yeah.
Don't come at me sideways.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I had to deal with. And I don't know if you've realized, but my energy just changed.
Yes. I can see
Because
like your body recalls that. It doesn't forget. Yeah.
I had to stand in the gap because now I realized my privilege as a CA in the rotations that I had versus some of my peers who experienced what they did.
Yeah.
In one of my rotations, I actually had a friend who would, like when I had more work, because you could ask for assistance, I would go to him because he was always dwindling, like he had
had too
nothing
much
to do.
capacity.
Yes, he had nothing to do. And such an amazing, the person I'm talking about is a head of legal right now.
Serious.
Amazing
I need
lawyer.
to call him to the
When I
platform.
tell you,
Kupon Connect.
he is amazing. I'm not even joking. But when I think of some of the time that he had nothing to do as a CA, and you're like, hi, marabeni hlala ngugai,
Yeah.
Shem. But when he got to the rotations where he had work, he did the most. And now, like I say, he's a head of legal, chef's kiss, amazing lawyer. One of the most amazing in-house lawyers I know.
I love that you were able to, because sometimes when we have privilege, we are so oblivious to other people's experiences of their environment because
Yes.
we feel like, oh no, but that's not how I'm treated. So
Yes.
I'm so glad that you were able to sympathize and empathize and actually also stand in the gap for your colleagues as well, in as much as you were experiencing a different experience, right? So you go and do your masters, right? That's where we actually like. I think you did your masters so that you can actually meet me. Then you can be interrupted, and then So I want you to touch on something. So you do your masters for the first year, and the year you're supposed to finish, you actually. You actually start baking, right? You start baking, you get pregnant, and now you can't complete your master's at that time, right? So then you decide to say, no, I'm not going to do this now. I'm going to have to do it later. How was it having to feel, because I mean, in real time, it doesn't always feel good because now you interrupted, and it's not because you want to. And as an overperformer and high achiever, it's very annoying because now also we had like one of the best supervisors, and you're looking at your supervisor, he's about to retire, and you're just like, oh my God, how did you navigate that? How did it feel? And then also taking the decision to actually come back and wrap up what you started. Because, I mean, you could have literally said, I'm going to drop this thing, After all, I'm well accomplished. I've got a good job. I've got a good family. I don't need this master's like that.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned our supervisor. It was him who said to me, ma'am, overachiever, pause.
Okay.
Pause. This is a new season for you.
Yeah.
And I know you are going to fight me for this, but I think it's very important for you to pause and embrace the season.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think, and I want to say his name, Professor Higo, enough for that. Chef's kiss. Firstly, he's the reason why I went to UJ to do my banking
the
law.
the great University of Johannesburg with the greatest lectures of all time. If you're doing banking and you've never cited Professor Hugo, go get your degree back. Because he's the best in the game. Yeah.
When I was doing my research to do my master's in banking law, Professor Hugo is the fellow banking law. He's literally
the godfather of banking law.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he was the reason why I went to UJ, and I did very well in my first year. And like you said, as I was about to do my dissertation, he was like, "No, you are allowed to defer if you need to." And I went back and I introspected and I was like, yeah, actually, why am I killing myself?
Yeah.
And I deferred to the next year. And then after giving birth, I got so sick, I couldn't do...
jump back on.
Yes, I couldn't. And I had to put in a motivation. And at that point, Professor Dutoy would be my supervisor. My application went through properly. I passed, and I was able to complete my dissertation, which also had its own,
things,
in fact, before Professor Dutoy took over, Professor Hugo was still there.
Yeah.
And he had to retire. And then Professor Dutoy took over, and I had to be deferred to another supervisor literally at the end. And I literally had to do my dissertation in 6 weeks.
What? High achiever, my daughter. But I'm glad. I'm so happy that you got to finish and you're doing what you love. Briefly, time went by. You see this thing of feeling at home. So briefly, I would like you to tell us about your role as a legal counsel in the banking space, because often when we think legal counsel, I'm thinking advocate, senior counsel, Benny or Henny Mutane, or, I'm not thinking in-house, So tell us about your role. What does it entail and what does it take to get into it?
Okay. So in simple terms, without getting into the technicalities, my role currently is to make sure that my stakeholders don't get themselves into trouble.
Okay.
I'm responsible for making sure that the sort of legal relationships that we enter into make sense.
Yeah.
And I'm also a quite operational lawyer, and I think that's why it's usually difficult for me to explain, because I'm very much into the detail, into the operations, into the business. I am an enabling partner.
Okay.
So from inception, if the business wants to do a certain transaction, I need to be pulled in from the beginning just to understand, okay, so these could be the legal risks, or these could be the things that we need to look out for.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate because in the 2 banks that I've worked for and the credit bureau that I'm working for currently, I've been exposed to so many things that are technical, that are product solution driven, that are sales driven. So I've literally went from seeing how a product is being done and building that, to seeing how a capability where the product is being sold, how that's done, and to seeing how you sell it from a sales perspective. So I've had great exposure in terms of the type of work that I do in the banking and the bureau space.
Okay, so what does it take to get into it? Do I need to be an admitted attorney, or there's a way to bypass that?
Usually you have to.
Okay.
So when applications come out, they want a legal admitted attorney, and there's a level of post PQE qualification that you need. But luckily, I immediately after articles, I went in-house. So I was able to build my PQE from when I started at the first bank.
Okay. So do you have people that are not admitted attorneys, however, they are also in the space?
Not that I've seen in the spaces that I've worked in. So all of us are admitted. So we've all done articles,
admitted attorneys.
Board exams, and admission. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say it was worth it going through admission, right? Doing your admission for 2 years, articles as hard as they were, was it worth it only for you to leave practice and actually go in-house? Because given sometimes there's stereotypes regarding being in-house. Like, was the 2 years of hardship and the board exams and everything worth it?
They were worth it because they were a building block to what I would have to go through. Guys, in-house is difficult. Let me tell you something. The type of work and problems that you have to deal with, you have to be practical. You have to be operational. You have whatever you are telling them, it has to work for business.
Yeah.
It's not the law says, can I do it or not?
Practicality.
And yes. What is this law saying? Can I do it? I need to make money. Can I do it? So, and the amount of stakeholders that you have is insane. So it takes more, actually, I think, in-house. So having gone through that training differentiates you in ways that you can't even imagine. There's a way in which they teach us how to think as lawyers.
Yeah.
And when you get into business, you realize, please, we are beasts.
Yes.
Let me tell you something, we are beasts.
Okay. I love that. Thank you so much. I really hope to have you for part 2 because we've ran out of time. So in closing, what is that one quote that has kept you all your life, and that one book or podcast that you think every single person should listen to or read?
Quote, think big.
Okay.
That's my mom. She had it on our fridge growing up. And that's always propelled me to think beyond my circumstances and where I was. And it still pushes me to this day because some of the spaces I find myself in, at no point did I think I would have occupied them.
Yeah.
And the one book, I'm a terrible reader.
Okay.
But I'll take Ephesians from the Bible.
Okay.
Go back to God. Whatever you do, go back to God. Put on the armor and face the world with God.
Okay. Love that. Thank you so much. Such an honor to have you here. Such a privilege knowing you and experiencing you. Guys, I'll call her again so that she can tell you guys about her green fingers. Oh my goodness. If you think you've seen gardeners or people that know how to grow food and stuff, you've not met Nonku. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Happy Employment Wednesdays. I should be able to see you guys after 2 weeks or in November, but I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys so much. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, and recommend people that you'd like to see here. Happy Employment Wednesdays. Thank you.